Mubarak. Welcome to SATV News. This is Tahsina Yasmin taking you to the details. The nationwide fuel crisis has reached a new peak, with disrupted supplies forcing many pumps to shut and triggering long queues at those that remain open. The common people have demanded a quick solution to this crisis. A visit to capital's filling stations today found many vehicles waiting in long lines, while many customers were forced to return empty-handed after hours of waiting. People concerned said the crisis has been caused by the inability to collect fresh fuel supplies during the Eid holiday. Pump authorities said the station had been shut after fuel brought in before Eid ran out. They said a vehicle had been sent to the depot to collect more fuel and sales would resume once supplies arrived. Meanwhile, BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir today called for patience amid the fuel crisis. He also warned against creating chaos at petrol pumps. He also said the party is implementing the election promises made to the farmers within a short time under the leadership of Tariq Rahman. Speaking at the inauguration of a canal excavation program on the Neha River at Baularhat in Raipur Union under Shodar Upazila, Fakhrul also said BNP gives the highest importance to farmers' issues. Besides, he asserted that the party's current initiatives continue the legacy of late President Ziaur Rahman, who, he noted, initiated a green revolution in the country through canal excavation programs. He added that the ongoing canal digging initiative is being carried forward by Tariq Rahman. After the extended break, working people have started returning to Dhaka. People were seen heading back from their homes by bus, train, launch and private vehicles. The number of Dhaka-bound passengers has been increasing since this morning. Passengers arriving from different districts filed incoming trains, many traveling with their families to resume work in Dhaka. A large number of returning passengers chose to come back early to avoid last-minute pressure. While many traveled with family members, others returned alone to rejoin their workplaces ahead of schedule. A visit to several bus terminals found that people coming to Dhaka after the celebrations expressed satisfaction with their journey as they did not face any major hurdles on highways. Meanwhile, not all passengers were returning to Dhaka. A noticeable number of people were still leaving the capital on the third day of Eid, hoping to spend time with family or travel within the country after the main festive period. A case has been filed against two railway gatemen in connection with the tragic collision between a bus and a train in Kumilla that killed 12 people. The case was lodged at Laksham Railway Police Station by injured bus passenger Shefali Akhtar, who is the maternal aunt of one of the deceased, Sohel Rana. Confirming the matter, officer in charge of Laksham Railway Police Station, Joshimuddin, said the case was filed under Section 304A of the Bangladesh Penal Code relating to death caused by negligence. The complainant, Shefali Akhtar, was also travelling on the same bus during the accident. The collision occurred on Saturday night, the day of Eid, at the Paduar Bajar level crossing on the Dhaka-Chittagong highway, when a Dhaka-bound train collided with a bus named Mamun Special. After months in detention and jail in India, 33 Bangladeshis have been repatriated through Benapole, marking the end of a cross-border ordeal. The group was handed over to Bangladesh authorities by Indian immigration on Sunday afternoon under a special travel permit, confirmed said Murtuza Ali, immigration inspector at the Benapole International Checkpost. The returnees hail from different districts including Shatkhira, Khulna, Bagarhat, Pabna, Narayanganj, Thakurgaon, Kushtia, Rangpur, Kumilla, Netrokona, Gazipur and Mymensingh. Murtuza said the individuals had previously crossed into India illegally via different border points with the help of middlemen in search of employment opportunities. Upon completing their sentences, the returnees were taken into the care of an Indian human rights organization and kept in a shelter home until their repatriation was arranged. The price of gold in international market has reached below $4,200 level today for the first time since December 2025. Last week, the price of gold saw the biggest weekly drop since 1983, decreasing more than 10%. In January, the price of gold hit the historical high level nearing $5,600 threshold. It fell around 26% from its peak level. Price of silver per ounce also fell by 8.3% to $62.2. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital.
Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen,
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
they will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital.
Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen,
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people?
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. Now, news from abroad. Iran's National Defense Council said that any attempt to attack the Iranian coast or islands would cause all communication lines in the Persian Gulf to be mined, as a deadline imposed by US President Donald Trump for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz was set to expire today. Critical infrastructure and energy facilities in the Middle East could be irreversibly destroyed should Iranian power plants be targeted. Iran's
for the needs of this global world.
For China to come to agreement,
they will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital.
Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsalam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
Opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly
Cuba got power back on Sunday after another nationwide blackout on Saturday, which is the second in less than a week after the Trump administration intensified the United States' decade-long economic blockade, cutting off the island nation from Venezuelan oil. The Cuban Electric Union, which reports to the Ministry of Energy and Mines, reported that the total disconnection of the national energy system was caused by an unexpected shutdown of a generation unit at the Nuevitas thermoelectric plant in Camagüey province without providing details on the specific cause of the failure, according to the Associated Press. Saturday's blackout came a day after the Washington Post reported that the Cuban government this week refused a request by the U.S. Embassy in Havana to import diesel fuel for its generators. Meanwhile, reports emerged on social media of many Cubans dying due to blackout disrupting hospital operations. France's former Prime Minister Lionel Jospin died Monday at the age of 88. According to his family, Jospin had a serious operation and had returned home to rest in January. The socialist leader served as Prime Minister in a left-wing coalition government from 1997 to 2002. Jospin was also twice a socialist candidate in the presidential election. During his tenure as premier, considered the architect of the plural left, he implemented reforms including the 35-hour workweek, the 5-year presidential term, the law on gender parity in politics, and the PACS. He retired from political life after being eliminated in the first round of the 2002 presidential election. Saudi Aramco, the world's top oil exporter, has cut crude supply to Asian buyers for a second month in April, reported Reuters, citing sources familiar with the matter on Monday after the US-Israeli war with Iran disrupted trade via the Strait of Hormuz. The producer is supplying only Arab light crude exported from the Red Sea port of Yanbu to term customers in April, the sources said, keeping supplies to Asian refineries tight and capping their refined products output. Saudi Arabia has exported 4.355 million barrels per day of crude so far in March, data from analytics firm Kepler showed, down from 7.108 million BPD in February. The pilot and co-pilot of an Air Canada Express plane that collided with a ground vehicle at New York's LaGuardia Airport have died, reported NBC News on Monday. The plane with 76 people on board collided with a fire truck while landing at the airport in an incident that led to the airport's closure, authorities said. NBC said earlier that 4 people, including the pilot and co-pilot, were injured, saying the fire truck was manned by police officers, citing sources. A sergeant and an officer had broken limbs and were in stable condition at a hospital. The National Transportation Safety Board said it is launching an investigation into the incident. The Kremlin dismissed as false a report that Russia proposed ending intelligence sharing with Iran in return for the United States halting its support for Ukraine. Peskov said the report belongs to the category of untruthful or rather false. He made the remark while speaking to journalists on Monday. He also called for political and diplomatic settlement to the Middle East war following US President Donald Trump's ultimatum to Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. This is the only thing that can effectively contribute to diffusing the catastrophically tense situation that has now developed in the region, Peskov said. Improving ties with Beijing does not require being anti-US. While Taiwan's survival depends on stable relations with China, the leader of Taiwan's largest opposition party said on Monday. Former lawmaker Cheng Li-wun won election as chair of the Kuomintang in October and has signaled a swing towards even closer ties with Beijing than her predecessor Eric Chu, who did not visit China during his term as chairman that began in 2021. Cheng has expressed a desire to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping, though did not directly answer when asked how those plans were progressing. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte said on Sunday that 22 countries, including NATO members, along with allies such as South Korea and Japan, are coordinating efforts to reopen navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. A group of 22 countries, most of them from NATO, but also Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, to UAE and Bahrain, most of the other countries from NATO, coming together, making sure that the Strait of Hormuz is free, is opening up as soon as possible. Rutte said the announcement comes amid escalating tensions after U.S. President Donald Trump on Saturday threatened to obliterate Iran's power plants if Tehran failed to reopen the vital waterway within 48 hours. Trump's warning followed his earlier comments about winding down the war, now entering its fourth week. Concerns over energy infrastructure threats weighed against the temporary easing of sanctions by Washington, allowing the release of Iranian seaborne oil, with millions of barrels entering global markets. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un was reappointed as President of State Affairs. State-run television KRT reported on Monday after the isolated nation convened the first session of its Supreme People's Assembly on Sunday. The Assembly, North Korea's rubber stamp legislature that formally approves state policy, typically meets following a ruling Workers' Party Congress to turn party decisions into law. It discusses amendments and supplements to the Socialist Constitution, as well as the election of the chairman of the State Affairs Commission and other state leadership bodies. The meeting will also review the country's economic 5-year plan announced at the 9th Party Congress held in February, state media added.
김정은 동지께서는 제의하셨습니다.
Slovenia's ruling Freedom Movement and the opposition Slovenian Democratic Party were tied in Sunday's parliamentary vote, according to a state election commission preliminary result based on 99.2% of the votes counted. With most votes counted, neither party, even with its existing coalition partners, looked likely to secure the 46 seats needed for a majority in the 90-seat parliament, making smaller parties that cross the 4% threshold potential kingmakers. Liberal Prime Minister Robert Golob said the path ahead would be difficult while speaking to supporters at his party's election night event. Negotiations will be hard. I hear this tonight all the time, Golob said from the stage, adding that certain principles would remain non-negotiable in any coalition talks. Both camps have said the elections would determine a future path for Slovenia.
Zaslužimo vsi, ne glede na to, katero stranko smo volili, ne glede na to, v kaj verujemo, vsi si zaslužimo prihodnost.
Viewers, you are updated with our top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.